I think for the next year you still have demand, far ahead of supply. So in a lot of markets where we have hotels, as long as demand is higher than supply, we're going to be just fine. And it gives us the ability to continue to, move rate where it makes sense, and we're doing that. As I've said before, we're the rate leader in a lot of markets where we do have hotels, so we'll continue that, and we feel good about the next couple of years in terms of growth. We think it's going to be a while until supply catches up with demand in a lot of those markets.
I think that this is a great time for revenue management, because not only are we dealing with a period where there's rising demand and rates haven't risen as much as we would have liked to see, which I think revenue management is a discipline, and revenue management systems can also help with that significantly. You're also dealing with increased volatility, and so I think that the cliches at this point that everyone is talking about with the new normal is true. And as you see the interactions between Europe and China and the United States and all kinds of different complexities, you're going to see that micro markets by day are going to be very different.
With regard to pricing, we believe that consumer willingness to pay up for a room will be highly correlated to the amount of confidence they have in the review that they're reading.
Our business is heavily reliant on the performance of the hotels, from not only the ability and desire for someone to want to purchase one, but the ability to get it financed and to actually get the transaction closed. So what we do is we need to back up just a step, and that would be to look at the post-recessionary improvement that we were seeing. It was in fact dramatic last year. 2011 was a very, very good year, finished very strong. We felt like that was going to continue into 2012, and while it has been a strong year, the level of growth has not kept up with the growth we saw in 2011.
The big question is how much is rate pushing. If you actually look at where the business has been from a real rate basis, removing the impact of inflation, we're still got a ways to go from the peak. And I guess from Choice's perspective, the consumer's focus on value continues to be one of the reasons we think we're at the top end of the RevPAR gains. Our offering of a free breakfast, free parking, free internet, along with the room rate, we think is compelling. We think consumers are going to be focused on value for the next year, but we think for the next 3 or 4 years. And as a result, we think the rate growth is going to continue to come back slowly. Look, we had a very healthy beginning of this year. We've got rate increases in that, but the dominant factor in the overall RevPAR increase is still demand, and we think that's what's going to carry forward into at least the next year. We don't see the consumer focus on value dropping anytime in the midterm at least, and we think that plays very well for Choice.